Please hit the subscribe button for more content.
Hi there, welcome to this video where we're going to be looking into the data streams on the Football Bet Data website. So our data, first place to go, we've already shown you on our first video the introduction page, but this is where you can go give you a little bit of a blurb on the four main data streams that we have available. We're going to be going through each one of those on this video. So we're going to start today with the data download file. This is a standalone Excel download file. Now today, so you can see here when it was updated. So in this instance, it was updated today, 2:18 in the morning. If I click the download here, you'll be able to open it. There are actually no games today. So we are obviously in the middle of summer, middle of the Euros tournament. So there is very little, there's a small amount of action. Certainly midweek it's a lot lower. So it's one of those rare instances where there are no games being played today. But we can have a look at this file. If we go to the archive section and look at yesterday's, I'll be able to export that. And you can see here, this is how the standalone daily file looks. So you have the games. So down the bottom, first of all, actually, you have the tabs for all the leagues that have fixtures. So this was yesterday's file. Then you have the match with the prediction in there. Now the score predictions kick in after each home team has played 6 games and the away team has played 6 games in the current season. Again, that's to ensure that our database has sufficient data to be able to generate an accurate score prediction. And again, why things like cup competitions, playoff games don't work with our software. We don't have enough to go on. But as soon as each league has reached that stage, or the teams playing have reached that stage of the season, the score predictions and odds projections will be loaded into the dashboard and onto this standalone file. So that's where you have the match. Then you have the form of each of the teams playing. This is their last 6 league games. So whether they're played home or away, it doesn't matter. It's their last 6 league games in the traditional format, lost 1, drawn, as you can see across there, Atalanta against Toronto. And then you have a breakdown of those last 6 games. So Atalanta, they had 2 away there. They drew, they won. They had 2 home games. They drew, they lost. And then they were away at Inter Miami. They won 3-1. Home to Los Angeles, lost 1-0. So you have the scores in there. And you also have our score prediction where applicable. And again, the result, the prediction. And then you have a breakdown of the halftime scores, the halftime result, and the times of the goals, the goal times within the matches themselves. It's worth noting on goal times, we are having a cleanse on this. So you can see this one here, where we have Toronto, Cincinnati, 90+3. We are changing that, so that will show as 90.3, which makes that a number, a decimal number at that. But for sorting and analyzing, that will turn that goal time into a number rather than having the plus, which means it's stored as a text identifier within the within any Excel outputs. We will be converting all of these to a proper number format, but these files are obviously embedded and ingrained, these archive files, so it's not going to be changing in there, but it will be changing in the database. So any outputs you run, as soon as we've made that change, we'll make you aware on social media, but we will be making that improvement to ensure that it's easier for you as users to manipulate the goal time data. Further to the right hand side, we have all of the odds. So these are the average home odds out of all the bookmakers offering odds on the game. Now these odds will be taken at 2 a.m. This is when the data pack arrives into our servers. So for games that have not been played, those are the odds at that point in time. Same for the Betfair odds. This was the last price traded in that market at that point in time. For games that have completed, so after these games have finished in the database themselves, it will be the closing odds. So the odds at or around kickoff time. So the average odds of all bookmakers offering the odds and the Betfair exchange odds as well. So we've had inquiries before, people saying, well, what are the lay prices? What are the back prices? We don't have that. We have the closing price. So that is as provided by Betfair. So if you wanted to be analysing against backing or laying, perhaps you drop it by a tick or add a tick on if you want to be safe for laying, because that price there was the closing. Well, this isn't, because this was taken at 2 a.m., but the results in our database that we will see in a moment for the Betfair markets are the closing price as given to us by Betfair. Now, we only have the Betfair odds back to July 2022, so we've got about 2 years worth now built up in the database. The average bookmaker odds, those go back to around about 2001. A bit patchier back then, so some of the leagues will be populated, some won't, and the same with goal time. So further back in time, we didn't have all of that information available. As the site evolved and we started adding those in, so sort of from 2006 onwards, the coverage is a lot better for all of the leagues. The main leagues probably not an issue, but some of the more obscure, so you know, the MLS, Slovenian, Slovakian, Norwegian, those sorts of leagues, more recent will have a higher population of the goal times and odds. There may still be the odd game where the odds were not made available to us. That unfortunately is out of our control. It's all to do with the API feed that we get. We also have the predicted home odds. So I said about predicted scores, but we also project the true odds. So as a likelihood, so people use that as well as a gauge. So this is where we predict the home, the draw, and the away odds for each match, alongside the average price and the Betfair price. Then we have over under. We have both teams to score the predicted, and we have the Betfair odds where available as well for Betfair. Again, closing price for the over 0.5, the under 0.5. 1.5. We have all of this up to 4.5. Then we have the draw no bet, mostly bookmaker populated. Betfair odds aren't always available for some of these markets, but we have the double chance, so those are populated with Betfair odds. And then we have the both teams to score. Further to the right-hand side, we have the actual goals against the predicted goals, and then a bit about the season, the year that the game has been played in, and then the profit. So if you had backed all of these games using our score predictions against the average bookmaker odds, if you had backed our correct score prediction, 1 unit stake per score prediction, that's the return you would likely have got from a bookmaker. And then we have the Betfair exchange return odds, as well as the lay odds. So if you had laid at that price, or if you're back to that price, those are contained within the file itself. So like I said, you have those broken down by leagues, and then you have one tab, which will be the day's date, which has all of those games listed out in the standard format that you would get from an export within the site. So that's the standalone daily file. Let's have a little look at the data dashboard. So we go into the dashboard now. First thing you'll see, we have date picker. So if you want to switch to a date in time and want to look at the results, so let's go back to April the 6th. You can submit to screen or to Excel. Let's just do it to screen for the moment. And there you go. You have a list of all of these games. You have the key of headings. So if you click that, it'll tell you what all of these abbreviated columns mean. Now on screen, you get a lot less data than you do if you send to Excel, purely because of the size. What we probably will work towards is something similar to what we've done on Racing Bet Data, which is give you a customized columns option. We don't have it for FBD yet, but we will probably look to add that in. But you have a list of all of the games here, and you can scroll to the bottom. You can actually scroll with this arrow, so you can go top to bottom pretty easily. And then you have a breakdown of the profit loss for the games in your output. So this is the match result using the average bookmaker prices based on our score predictions. Match result using Betfair exchange prices. So we have the back and the lay in there. Match result using average bookmaker prices. So this is discounting any predictions. Top two are all based on predictions. This is if you backed every game to be a home win, every game to be a draw, every game to be an away win using the average bookmaker prices, and then the same theory using the Betfair exchange. So if you'd backed every game to be a home win, well, if you could look down the bottom here, it's profitable. If you laid every game to be a home win, Same with draw and away win, slight profit if you backed every match to be an away win. And then we look at the overs using bookmaker prices, overs using Betfair exchange prices. So if you backed every game to be over 0.5, would have been a bit of a loss. And if you'd laid it, which is almost the same as backing unders, which you have further down, you can see that obviously backing unders under 0.5, 1.5 using the Betfair exchange odds was profitable for these selection of games. We have the same for both teams to score. So only using bookmaker prices, we don't have the odds for Betfair for that market. Double chance we do using bookmaker, using Betfair exchange, and draw no bet again using the average bookmaker prices. So you have those profit tables on all of your outputs. You can send this data to screen. You can also sort it. So if we wanted to sort it, it's already sorted by date. We've only got one day in there. But if you want to sort by home team, sort by away team, you can click these headers where they highlight and it will sort it alphabetically, and then click it again, it will sort it Z to A rather than A to Z. So you have that ability to manipulate the data in the screen output. Now to get back, click the main filters, and this takes you to our dashboard. Again, at the top, you'll see your login details. We have the option to apply a save selection. If you have stored a system, which we will come on to separately, you can recall it in here, manage selections. Let's just generate some output. So you can use these filters to toggle, or you can use individual tick boxes to click those. Now here you have a breakdown of the abbreviations. If you're not familiar, you don't know what those are, have a little look on the dashboard for these little help tips, clicks, key headers that you can click on. Let's keep in the English League, the 4 main English domestic leagues, and let's just look at predicted. I don't know. You can filter this by draw or home win or by individual score predictions. But let's just look at games where we had a prediction of draw of a 0-0 or a 1-1. If you want to include, so another common issue we get is people saying there's games missing from your database. There isn't. It's normally people have not clicked this button. So they wanted to do an export, and instead of using the fixtures and results page, they have used this page, the data dashboard, which is absolutely fine, but they've left this unchecked. So you're only generating, you've got it on here, they've got it like that. So you're only generating the games with the score predictions. So all of those games at the beginning of the season where teams had not yet played their 6 home or 6 away games are excluded. So you need to make sure that you're ticking that box as it's shown up here. And then for games prior to 2006, when the site was launched, we didn't have the score predictions. So if you want to see those, you need to make sure that box is ticked. But I'm just going to faff around. There's no system or strategy here. I'm just showing you how the dashboard works. You can filter by odds, so either the predicted home draw away, predicted both teams to score or over under. You can add those in just by typing into your min max. Then you can filter by the actual odds available. And again, you can toggle between whether you're Betfair or your average bookmaker, noting that Betfair odds were only available from, I said, just over 2 years ago now. There's a click-in button here that shows you when we added these odds into the database as well for a bit more detail. But you can use these to generate your min-max. You can uncheck and check your seasons. So let's just look at, we obviously haven't played any games yet, so nothing's going to generate if I click here. But let's have a look at the previous season. And then you can look at certain months. So if we just want to look at January, February, March, for instance, we can click submit. This will send it to screen. And you can see here 157, so it's still filtered on away, but let's change that by date. So you'll see that in chronological order, 157 games that met our criteria. So we were betting on, using score predictions of the draw. So 0-0 or 1-1. So if you backed all of those as a draw, so you can see these are showing 0 because we didn't include any predicted matches where there was a score prediction that was a home win or away win, only draws. So you can see that would have eked out a small profit. If you backed all of those 157 games to be a draw at the average bookmaker odds, you would have returned a profit of 38.8, and that's to a 10-unit stake, which gives you an ROI of 2.47. And backing the correct score in those matches using a 1-unit stake would have given you a return of 30.5, which is an ROI of 19.43. Looking at the same against the Betfair exchange odds, would have returned a higher profit and a 6.08% ROI. And obviously, conversely, if you're laying all of those, you would have made a loss. Then looking at these matches, if you'd back them all as a home win, as a draw, an away win, so every one of those 157 games you've backed home, draw, away, these are the profits you would have made using average bookmaker, Betfair results, and the same for all of these. So this is the same calculations, just a different data set. So I won't go through all of those again. Let's go to the top. I'll send it to Excel so you can see in there the additional data that we get. There we go. So you get it in tabular format. So also included here, you have the goal times. Now this is the same layout as the daily download file that we've just looked at. All of your odds are in here, and then you have the profitability as well. So exporting this to Excel gives you that additional functionality to manipulate your data, whether you want to use it for pivot tables or combine it into Power Query, which we'll do, whatever the analysis is, embedding it with our example downloads. The option is there, very quick. You can see how quick it is to send to Excel. Like I said, with these goal times, we're going to work on getting these changed. So this will show 90.2, 90.5 rather than the plus. So that will be corrected over the next week or so. So all of the outputs that you run will show a change to the goal time format. Okay, so that's the dashboard in a nutshell. Let's go to fixtures and results. So simpler. If you just want to export results, as I said, you can do that using the dashboard as long as you tick that show all games with the score prediction. But if you just wanted to see the output from last season, well, let's even look at this season's fixtures. You can check your league, and again, we've got the key here. You can submit that to screen. You can send it directly to Excel if you like. But here's the 380 games for this upcoming Premiership season, chronological order. And again, you can sort this by home. So if you just wanted to see Arsenal at the top, you've got all of those in there. Put it back on date. You'll see that some of these odds are starting to populate. So we're over a month, 6 weeks away, but you can see that the bookmakers are starting to form odds for these games. Now, the Betfair markets, we only look at the day before. So these will not populate until the 15th of August, 16th of August for these games. That's why you can't see those in there, but you can for the bookmaker prices. And obviously, these will change significantly as we move closer to those games taking place. And you'll have nothing in your profit table because none of these games have taken place yet. But that's where you can export all of your fixtures. Again, exactly the same format as we've already covered in a tabular format, all in Excel nicely for you. Save a select. Oh, let's go to head-to-head first, and we'll do save a selection. So this is if you wanted to compare two teams. Simply select the letter, and then you can either type or scroll. So let's have a look at Liverpool against Everton down the years. Remember, league games, and you can include home and away, but if we just want to look at the games at Anfield, click the Get History. 27 games in the database, including the one that has not yet been played. And you can see all of the profitability as you can on the data dashboard as well. So if you want to look at how we predicted, so we've actually predicted over the years 13 home wins, 2 draws, 1 away win. You can see if you followed all of those predictions for the Liverpool Everton, the 16 in total, you would have been at a 47.6 pound or point win from a 10-unit stake, giving you a yield of 29.75. Looking at Betfair, now, like I said, that's not going to be as fully populated because we only started adding those odds in July 2022. looking at the total amount of games. Now, the reason there's more, so there's only 16 here, but there's 26 here. Like I said, not all of the games are score predictions. So there'll be some that are before 2006. You can see all of them down here, no score predictions in place. And there's the odd game here where they took place before each team had played their 6 home, 6 away games. So that's why there's a deficit between the two. But you can actually see backing using bookmaker prices, the draw is the value down the years for Liverpool Everton. 9 occurrences, and that's where the profit is. So you can use it for whatever purposes you want. And you've got all of the data again for all of these other markets. And you can send it to Excel, as you can with all of our exports. Click in here, and there's your Liverpool Everton. Shows you what league. Obviously, all of these have taken place in the Premiership. You've got your goal times, and you can do your further analysis from here. Okay, that's head to head. Let's have a look at the saver selection. So we can mess around and add in, if you want to be looking at a certain thing the same day in, day out, to save you ticking this. So this works with our data dashboard, I should say. We can create a new strategy in here. Let's call it test EO, E0, and we want to just look at the English League, and we want to see games that are predicted to be 0-0, 1-1. This is what we generated in the dashboard before. You can pick your season. It might be that you're looking at all, and it might be that you want to look at yesterday or today to see, are there any upcoming? We know that we're not going to get any, but let's just leave that in there. All months. There's no summer matches played in this league, and we can add that selection. So if we want to see what happens within these games, we're not going to get any added. But let's go to the dashboard and then select this, and it will populate and it will remember what we've selected. So you don't have to keep going back through and ticking those boxes. Now, we're not going to get any output because we've put today down the bottom there. Liverpool Everton aren't playing. Liverpool Everton. The Premiership games aren't playing today. But it's just to demonstrate how we can use it. If you want to amend that selection, manage selections, or you can go here, select the one you want to amend, and then you can either delete it or amend it. Click amend, and then if you wanted to add in other leagues, you can do so there, and then amend this selection. Selection's been amended. If we go to the dashboard and choose it, you'll see it's now picking up those additional leagues. So the save selection management is purely designed if you're looking for the same thing every day or every week or every month, however frequently it is, saves you having to remember and tick those boxes, potentially missing some. You can manage it and save as many as you want against your account within the data dashboard. Okay, so I think that's covered all of our data at basic level. What we will do is start releasing some more videos showing you how you can manipulate that data further once you have exported it from Excel.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more useful content.